Now, this is a game I've been asked to be done for a long time right now. And let's have a look at what it is. Well, if you can't tell straight away, it's already a Black Forest game. In the purple or pink, we have Jessica playing as the Spanish, quite known as a very good Black Forest. We'll actually say that for a second here. Conquistadors, very strong unit, full trash, very strong unit lines, all the way up to pretty much, I think it's full upgrade Paladins. So there's really not a lot to love from these guys. Bombard towers as well, really important on a Black Forest game, especially because it's so tight. Persians, we have a Jedi playing as the orange. So as Persians, another good Black Forest civ, extremely heavy. Can see a lot of gunpowder out of them some of the time. Gunpowder backed up by Paladins. Can be really an effective combo. And in the red, we have VM playing as the Mongols. Mongols known as probably one of the most powered civs in Imperial Age. Mangudai are just pretty hard to stop on their own. And when you combine that Mangudai force with the Siege Onager, there's really not a lot you can do to stop it. So we could even see some interesting cutting in this game, perhaps. Could be interesting either way. So that's Team 1. Team 2, we have Restoi playing down here as the Japanese in the green. Japanese as well. It could have been random civs, but Japanese, it's still a fairly strong Black Forest civ. They could be a lot. There are a lot worse civs. Over here we have Memb playing in the yellow as the Vikings. Generally not one of the best Black Forest civs. I'll say that straight away. They don't exactly have the most powerful Imperial Age. They do get a lot of units and things that can be seen as effective, but they don't really have that mass heaviness like Spanish do, for instance, or Teutons. Probably one of the strongest civs. And over in the teal, we have Fate. I'm pretty sure it's meant to be pronounced Fate. I'm not sure though, but I'll be pronouncing it as Fate for the rest of this game. So if that absolutely destroys you during this, leave a comment and tell me how I should be pronouncing it. But I like Fate personally. And he's going to be playing as the Saracens. So let's speed things along, have a quick look. The first thing we really need to note right now is the walling and how that's going to be done. It looks like we're about to see a villager fight over here actually. And 3 wolves right there. That's actually shocking. Looks like he actually lost a villager there as well. Anyway, this wall over here as close as possible to your opponent, because of course you want to be able to break in there and disrupt their economy as soon as possible. So doing this with a nice forward wall can be really good, because you can drop like a tower here and that'll hopefully cover the stone. You can even see castles and things dropped right about here, and it's just really annoying if you're playing on this side, because it's so close to your economy and you want to get it as far away from your economy as possible, the wall off, so you have as much delay time as possible. And of course, so you can expand out with military buildings. Of course, up here I can expect to see all military buildings, so they have to go through them before they can get to the economy at any rate. Over here it looks like we're about to see a bit of a villager fight. It looks like Team 1 will be able to take this one here. They do have 2 scouts and 2 villagers here. Might be able to... Did this guy get injured by a wolf? No, but that scout is going to have to get out of there. You need one more hit on him. And it looks like he's going to go for it. There we go. Taking that guy out. And these villagers here are going to be forced to retreat. And we're going to see Jessica go up with a good wall here. So as we can tell already, this is not a no-rush game. This was played on Voobly, not GameRanger. Probably one of the biggest things there. So let's have a look at how this ends. Of course, the other team scouts coming over to try and help, but they are a bit late. Not going to be able to do a lot with this one. The economies at the moment, well, we're 4 minutes in. Don't know what really to expect. Usually on Black Forest you can see people go up around about 30 pop. We'll have a flick around in a few minutes to see how many villages are going up on. Build orders are relevantly the same as well for the bit of it. You just want to have a lot on food because of course you want a fast castle. Unless of course you've snuck a villager and want to go scouts or something, which you do see every now and then. But generally they'll go for knights. Cavalry archers if Huns perhaps, even though they can go for knights as well. Really depends on who you're up against civ-wise and what you're up against. Looks like the lumber camp is being put down over here, because of course having these villagers on the front here means he will be able to reinforce this wall off here if it does start to get broken down. The men putting up quite a big wall off here to start with, putting some houses down because you may as well keep that villager as busy as possible. Over here the wall off looks fairly fair. Fate getting a good one there. Not really exactly a good area to be trying to wall off anyway. I see something down here. It looks like the scouts trying to bust through this wall, but Dark Age scouts, as we know, 3 attack, not going to really be able to do a lot with them. Again, back to this wall off over here. No one has the exact advantage, so it should be interesting to see who fights through here and what happens over here. And actually, I don't know if I said this before, but playing as Vikings, really good economy. We could even see a sling out of him. That could be really interesting. So I'll keep an eye on that and see if that happens. So it looks like Jessica's plan here is to, if you just read that bit of chat, the plan was, can I bring it back down? There we go. You probably can't read it anyway, the quality's not that nice. But saying that, actually, I move soon. I think just under 2 months now. Yeah, quality. Can't wait. Anyway, on that, Jessica's plan there was to kill off someone as quick as possible, and then use that advantage. Fair enough, turn it into a 2v3 straight away. So we could potentially see some towers go up here, bust through this wall with scouts, could see a castle come down, could see knights come in, or we could see some kind of big push. I think you can use monks as well. It can be kind of done like arena when you wall off like this. So we could even see some monks out using that 9 range, exploiting that to try and get as much harass as possible. Saying that as well, we could see Rez put up a castle around this area here to try and defend it. Town centre would probably go up between these golds here. Actually, I don't think we've really had a look at the maps yet. We can probably do that right now, considering nothing's really going to happen until Castle Age. But I'll keep an eye on the map. So let's have a look. Rez has his gold and stone back here. He does have a lot of nice wood sections here, not too far away from the town centre. Blacksmith and market going up. Berries over in the corner here. Does have this kind of choke area here. If he gets walled in here, he's stuck. If a castle comes up here, he's stuck and he will be killed off. Nothing you can do about that. Over on this side, Memb has a gold in the back as well as a stone over here. Nice gold there. Positioning isn't too bad, not far away from the town center, but again, if a push comes in and sits around here, going to be in trouble, but still he can get out of his base if he really needs to. Fate right now, gold on the back, hasn't even started going for gold yet, which is interesting enough. Probably use the markets being Saracen. 2 stones in this area here, and 2 golds on the front. These front golds here could be quite badly harassed, actually, especially from a Mongol player if he breaks through here nice and early. But it's going to come down to what we see. Saying that, we do have VM over here. 3 golds on the front, which is really an annoying thing to have, especially on top of this hill here. However, if he gets a castle up on here, he should be able to hold it fairly easily until trebuchets are out. Of course, coming from a Saracen player, they can generally have a really fast Imperial time if they want to use that market. 2 stones in the back, main gold over here. Really open area though for VM to try and defend, and going to be really hard to try. Potentially could see a wall off come down across here and mostly across here. Could see castles come up in this area here to help defend the economy, and they just all hit castles, so I better be quick right now. And saying that, I see a blob of purple. But anyway, we'll be quick over here. We do see Jedi putting up some defense here. Town center, gold there, stone in the back, more golds in the back. Quite a good location for him. Going to be able to wall off here if he really needs to, and again across here if someone gets hurt, and well across here and here as well if he wants to. So he's got quite a good position here. It is really open though for Black Forest. Some bases you do find that are really open, and some you get next to no room. And Jessica, let's have a quick look. Stone over here, stone in the back as well. Main gold over here in a pretty shitty location. All his gold's forward. That's going to be really annoying. He's going to have to push forward. Alright, so that blob of purple I must say much being these villagers are walling. Town center coming up over here. A monastery already up for res right now. Could be seeing him try and bring some monks forward to try and get some defense over here. Anyway, let's speed things along and see how we go. I just sped it up, and that sped up like nothing. That's great. The wonders of 3v3 Black Forest. On this side, wall off still going down. It looks like wild boar still being hunted by Memb. What's Memb doing? Saying that, what's Memb doing at all? 31 population up. Rez is going up on, well, he probably went on about 30. Jessica went up on about 30 as well, just about to hit Castle Age actually. And 670 stone there. Looks like we're about to see a castle drop, folks, on Black Forest. Brilliant. Is a monastery coming down over here. Of course, going to need to get some monks out to defend against the rival monks, because you can't get a castle up over here without losing a few villages to conversion. And then, of course, those villages can be used to attack the other villages because they're on the other side of the wall, and such, which is why monks are so strong on these style of maps. Plus, that 9 range makes them really hard to target. 2 monasteries up, actually. That'll be an interesting one compared to his opponent's 1. Hopefully the game sound isn't a bit loud. I think it might be, but we'll find out at the end, I guess, and hopefully I won't have to record this again, because this is a long one. And Monk is out. Will he go for a conversion? Of course, he does need to get... There we go. Needs to get the research before he can convert enemy monks. And will he go for it? Alright, castle is going up on the edge here. We can see on this side as well, VM doing a massive wall off on this side. And getting a conversion there with the monk. Getting 1 convert. Very nice. And of course, forced back here until his monk gets enough conversion points to get another one. And here we go. It looks like this one here on 100, but it hasn't started to try and convert these guys. More monks being created. There are some scouts out as well, because scouts are quite effective against monks. And it looks like that monks returned back to the control of Rez. Anything else interesting happening right now? Not really. We'll keep focusing on this area over here because it looks like this is where the combat's going to be. And it looks like we're about to see a monk push right now. Could even see these villagers push in with the tower over here. Let's see what happens. Continuing to try and take down this bit of palisade here. The economy of res could be really hurt actually if a tower comes up in this area over here. Going to be interesting to see how this plays off, if the monks decide to go forward or not. Conquistadors on the way out. And going to be interesting to see how they work. Going for some harassed here, forcing the garrison of the town centre. Very nice. 4 monks currently out for res, and I think there's about... I mean, there's 3 out for Jess right now. Maybe we can get a conversion and help boost the numbers. Oh! Ooh, got that one there, but did kill it off. Did get killed off by the castle. Over on this side, what are we saying? There we go. Fake going up with a castle. Could be trying to get out some Mamelukes. Very strong unit. Especially once they get that plus 30 HP. Mem's still not doing a lot. I'm actually going to swap over to Rez and see if he starts getting a sling, because the amount that Mem is doing right now is not a lot, so I'm expecting a sling right now. Siege Workshop going up in the back. Of course, Siege highly effective versus monks. Mangonel is extremely effective, can generally one-shot a monk, depending, of course, on where they hit in the area of effect. But still 7 range, can get in nice and close, and hopefully not get converted in that time. Only weakness, of course, being they are quite slow. Might get the conversion. You got it, but... Ooh, looks like he might... Oh, is he gonna... Got it back. But killed off by the castle anyway. This is an intense monk war down here. And villagers coming forward right now, and there's that tower we were talking about. Gonna come up, hopefully have the range to be able to do a lot of damage to these guys. Does have Bodkin Arrow already giving that +2 range. Really important, and of course for Spanish, making it nice and easy to get those researchers. And Fate just hitting the Imperial Age at 25 minutes. That is quite a quick Imperial. I hope that VM is ready for this. This is going to hurt. Monks out, of course. Saracen monks, very, very strong, as we know, by the Saracen monk rush, of course, utilized by the fact that the markets are so cheap. Castle going up, town center going up. That town center has been going up for ages. And we could see a Castle Mameluke push here, actually. That could be interesting to see. Another castle actually coming up in range of this town center over here. Going to be extremely hard for Rez to try and... Yep, and there we go. There is the sling I was talking about. But still back on topic, Rez is going to have a lot of trouble defending this. He has a few monks out, but apart from that, nothing is really going to be able to have to can deal with this. Mangonel, of course, outranged by the castles. Not going to be able to get in and do any damage there. And these monks as well might even be able to sit behind and get a convert. Who knows here? Trebuchet is out. Looks like Fate got a conversion on this Mangonel right now. Going to be able to use this to push, and it looks like though it will be killed off by villagers eventually. And there is that Trebuchet we were talking about. Going to be able to do a lot of damage in this area over here. Where did all these villagers go? They must have been garrisoned in here because of the monks. And it's so close to completion. And look like it's going to go up, and you might be able to garrison just in time. Going to lose 1 villager there. That's not too bad. However, it is forcing the monks back inside the town center, and it's really going to come down to a bit of a push here. Jedi just hitting the Imperial Age. VM is starting to get into a bit of trouble, starting to spam that wall. Petards are in right now, so this is going to be quite easy to bust through with Petards. And those Trebuchets are going to be so effective right now, just destroying everything on the other side of these walls. Looks like these villagers did get trapped, and I think there was a convert here, so we might be able to actually... No, I was thinking he might be able to sneak in there with that villager, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Back on this side here, we do see this castle is starting to take out this town center. Getting extremely close right now, but Jessica's still not Imperial. That could really hurt, especially if Fate decides to wheel down some trebuchets, sit about here, and try and help out his opponent by killing these off. But saying that, he's kind of got his hands full over here trying to get through this wall. There's those Mamelukes we were talking about. Once they go elite and get that unique tech, I think it's unique tech anyway, they get 30 plus HP on all those units. So going to be really effective, put them up to a really high HP amount, and, well, against Mongols, they're going to be quite effective, because as we know, Mongols get a bonus in the scout line in particular, with Hussars and Light Cavalry getting that plus hit points. Really effective, but against Mamelukes, not quite so effective in that one. Who are we spectating right now? We are spectating Rez, who's going up. Fate is up. Jedi is up. Memb is not up because he's busy slinging. Jessica is going up, and VM is just about to hit up as well. Going to be interesting how we see this. These conquistadors, of course, doing that job and just trying to kill off as many units as possible. Looks like this town center will be going down. This one will obviously be next. Of course, did have to abandon this entire area over here to try and not lose as many units as possible. Mameluke, still no elite there. Lots of petards actually saying that. Gonna be able to bust through quite quickly. Actually, managed to put a tower up here with converted villages. That is really smart. Gonna stop any walling attempts over here. Doesn't look like he tried to do a small wall off across here either. He's going to have to fight in this entire plane here, and Fate's going to have access to all of this gold here. Really, really important. Gold on Black Forest. He's going to have a lot to see there. Anyway, as well, Jedi, yes, going for that gunpowder push right now. Hand cannons and bombard cannons, extremely strong units to be using, especially as the Persians, because of course you can back that up with Paladin, which is a really strong combination. Of course, bombard cannons having mobility on trebuchets, which is probably the biggest thing there. And in come the petards right now. Let's see how much he can. Where's he going to try and blow through? Maybe over here. Mameluke's still not upgraded. They do have one armor upgrade, which is nice. Lots of monks still out, and he's really just got Rez stuck in here. He's not going to be able to do a lot until he gets out in here. So he's going to have to push through this castle line here before he's really going to be able to join a lot of the game here. So that'll be an interesting one to watch. Rez and Jessica just both hitting the Imperial Age there. Looks like he went through this bit of palisade, didn't even have to use any of those petards, which is interesting. It means he's going to be able to use them on something else. It looks like Team 1 does have a trade on the way. How are we looking? Team 2 trade as well. Trade is one of those things where you do have to get it up nice and early. You can't just do a switch, because there will be a point in there where you're going to have to be, you'll go from gold army to trash to gold army if you have a switch in there. However, if you slowly start piling on the trade units as you're going up, there won't be so much of a switch there. You will have a nice steady amount of gold coming in. And then, of course, there's extra villages, which you have. You can either delete them off and use them for army, or use them on food and wood, depending on how big your economy is. Another castle coming up here, right on this stone. Battering rams are out. Gonna be interesting how he actually tries to deal with this. Going for pikemen, which is an interesting call against, well, against monks, that's generally a good call, because like we've always said, pikemen attacking anything is pretty much like being hit with a wet noodle. And might actually lose this castle here if he doesn't cancel it. Oh, I think he just managed to cancel it. That was a close one. Halberdier now, and of course, with that plus armor, can stand up a little bit to the castles. Not a lot, though. These rams going to be, they might even be able to push through here. There are quite a few mangonels out defending, but again, there's a lot to try and do. And lots of the trade getting killed off by the looks of things. How are we looking? Elite Mameluke now up on 80 hit points. Here comes Cap Rams, getting killed off here. And looks like he did get the convert on that mangonel there. However, it did get killed off by those priests. Cap Rams, again, just killing off these castles really quickly. And it looks like right now, Rez is starting to gain some ground. Over on this side, Elite Mameluke's doing, well, holding this area really well. All these monks getting killed off to the Mangudai. And of course, Mangudai against Mamelukes. We know how that's going to end. Of course, unless the Mangudai are microed extremely efficiently. And these guys versus trebuchets. We know how that's going to end as well. They may have 8 pierce armor, but Mangudai have a bonus versus siege. Saying that, we haven't been looking at this fight over here at all recently, actually. Jedi coming in at the moment with Hussar and gunpowder combo, really strong. Castle coming up in this area here, going to be able to gut this area, and potentially going to lose this town center to bombard cannons right now. Again, it does look like the Rose is starting to take a bit of a push over here, and it's going really well, actually. However, there's still a lot of monks and a lot of conquistadors out. There's actually a trebuchet out for Cheska as well. But if he loses this cement hold here, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Jumping back over here, there is a forward castle right now for Fate. Going to be able to do that. Looks like Bloodlines has been done now, putting the Mamelukes up to 100 hit points. Just waiting on that elite tech, I think. And here's that push moving out across the map. Ooh. Looks like getting quite a bit of harass on the economy as well. As we can see, a lot of these farms aren't being used at all. And town center actually being taken down by these trebuchets. A really effective play over here by Fate. As we know, he's quite heavily Black Forest player. Most people know that. Again, over here, it's starting to look quite close. Going to be able to take out these rams eventually. Keeping an eye on this one over here and this one. Gunpowder moving forward, stables being created on the front line. Looks like these Hussars are going to town on these villages right now. Just everywhere. That's not quite so good for a slinging player. It needs some kind of defense. Fayette moving in now with these Mamelukes. Going to be able to, of course, gut these Hussars extremely effectively. Hand cannons as well will be able to close in. They've just got such a high HP, they're going to be able to close in on them. And back over here again. Heaps of outposts actually up for Fate, keeping a good eye on the battlefield right now. And looks like these castles here could be in trouble now. That should be just about enough. One more and that town center will be down. Is repairing it though, and there we go. There's that final blow that we just saw. And Mangadai at the moment going to be in a heap of trouble here up against these Mamelukes. Plus 4 armor on them, a really, really smart idea to get that as quick as possible, especially when you're going to be playing in an area like this. And it looks like Jessica has managed to take this area back into his control. I'm going to assume it's his, I'm not sure. I'll just call him Jess, that way it goes either way. Or Jesse. Jesse goes either way, I guess. Another castle coming up here. Looks like this Cap Ram will be able to take it out quite quickly if there's nothing done about it. A lot of Cap Rams actually moving forward here. And if he takes this stone, going to be able to get even more out. Trebuchets are out though for a res, so he is being able to push forward here. But again, the amount of monks and conquistadors here are just making it really hard to deal with. But again, Rams against monks, conquistadors, and halberdiers, there's nothing really there that can kill them off extremely well. And looks like this castle over here might be taken out soon. What are we doing there? That repairs are just lasting right now. Ooh, it's gonna stand up for a little bit. It's gonna be interesting to see how long though. This castle over here madly getting repaired, but the amount of rams on at the moment taking it down, and it looks like Jess actually lost its first castle over here, meaning that this area here now is completely prone to counterattack. There is nothing here to stop it. No castle on the high ground here. Is a lot of military production from Orange, but Jess has just lost most of hers, and she's not going to be able to build any conquistadors anymore, which is probably one of the strongest Spanish units you can get. Might have to switch into paladins, which is indeed a very lengthy transition to try and make. Cavalier plus paladin both take a long time, and then you've got to get all the attack upgrades on them, because if you've been focusing on conquistador, you'll have the armor upgrades, but not the attack upgrades, so you've got to get all of them as well. So it's really not an easy transition to make. Going to be interesting to see how much of it actually counts here. Looks like this university slowly getting taken out by this castle. And there we go, Orange actually stealing a lot of this stone and gold over here. It's starting to look really bad for Team 1. Saying that though, Fade doing a great job pushing in here. It looks like that castle actually survived. That's really interesting. Might have done just a quick duck forward with these Mangadais and taken a few out. Looks like the Mamelukes will be moving in. There's that plus 30 HP right now. This is when they get really dangerous. They are just a tank designed to take out any mounted units. Over here, massive halberdier fighting going on, but there are samurai out on the field, and once samurai are out, we know what's going to happen to halberdiers. Could see some quick walling go down across here. 3 relics actually there for Jess, which is kind of interesting. And right now, we do see Jedi pushing in here, and the economy of Memb is really in trouble. There's not a lot they can do right now. Fate doing a good job holding out here, keeping a lot of damage played, and only sitting here with a few Mamelukes, so he's going to have to really do some damage to VM quickly, or push this entire thing here back by himself. Saying that, still quite a few Mamelukes out, trying to take out the rest of these trebuchets by the looks of things. Don't think those trebuchets... what's happening? Siege engineers? Yes, the +1 range there being the big thing. And actually managing to kill off a villager there. Here we go, halberdiers streaming up into Jess's base right now. This is not looking good for Jess, and Orange actually. Jedi could be in trouble too if these getting, if they start harassing here, they're going to be able to just run straight through this area here, because there's next to no defense in the economy of Jedi. He does have a few castles up here, and there is a Mongol castle over here, but back in this area here, all he's got is town centers. So we could see quite an effective run by here. Saying that though, choosing not to engage down this path, keeping that one closed in, while trying to help out over here, knock Jedi out of this area so Memb can go back to that sling. Really, really smart upgrades here. And just decision making from the team. If Rez wanted to go for it, he probably could have pushed in here and tried to do that. But saying that, Memb could probably have died. And then there would have been no trade between Rez and Fade. And that pretty much would have spelled the end of the game. Over here it's just a stalemate. It's just whoever wants to move up first. And it looks like using that range advantage right now to take out quite a few units, playing it really smart, but I don't know if it's going to be exactly what it takes. Just in a lot of trouble right now. Still though, the pushing over here hasn't been massive, and of course that trebuchet just soaking up those bullets. However, it looks like this castle up here, or is he taking out the monastery? Or is he going for something different? Looks like he's going for the siege workshop, interestingly enough. Just checking that flare. Fade over here, looks like he could be taken out right now. It's starting to look really grim for Team 2. Oh, it's ridiculous. Saying that though, Rez is in here and he's pushing back right now. Jedi's not going to have much left in here soon. Rams are getting taken out. Plus a lot of these villages over here. And pretty much this entire forward area here is getting taken out. So going to be interesting to see how they decide to try and hold that. Looks like Fate actually retreating here. Probably a smart move with these trebuchets, because of course they are extremely valuable units, valuing in at 200 gold a piece. But Rez right now pushing in across here as well, just pushing Jedi back as best he can. And I think that's about it actually. I don't think Jedi has any units left in this area. And Fate has a lot of units he's going to be able to bring up to the front line against VM. So right now VM could be in a lot of trouble. Looks like this area is down. The push is going to start through here. And of course, either way they push through here, they will be engaging both players. So it's going to be a really tough time to actually try and do that. What are we seeing here? Another castle come up. And Trebuchet's behind. Could potentially take this castle out in one swoop here if he's quick enough with these trebuchets. I guess it's really not his option though. Is he going for this castle or is he going for the trebuchets behind? Looks like he's going for the trebuchets behind and getting one there. Mangudai will be running in to try and kill off these guys by the looks of things. Of course, 80 HP on them can soak up a lot of damage before they decide to do anything. And it looks like the trebuchets will be killed off there really quickly. Right now, things aren't looking so good for Team 1. They have managed to push all of this here back. Fate sending a lot of reinforcements up to the front line here. Did lose both his trebuchets, and this castle will go up, so he didn't kill that off straight away, which he probably could have done. Looks like bombard cannons are trying to move in, but of course, Helvetia Samurai being able to take a lot of them out, and there's that one. Samurai, of course, being a great unit to be using. It looks like this castle will be going down for Fate, and he's really trying to hold on this area here. Could have put the castle, tried to put the castle up on this hilly area anyway. Could have got a little bonus there, but again, he wants to defend this gold here. And in comes VM with a lot of stables right now. Looks like he's going to try and do that Hussar push. But then again, against Mamelukes like this, like a group of Mamelukes like this is so strong. I don't know how he will manage to push through it with light cavalry and Hussars. Let's have a look how the push is going over here. Looks like Green is slowly gaining some ground over here, especially if Memb decides to go for an army right now and push. He's got a few pikes there, but apart from that, not a lot. So it looks like this is coming mostly down to res right now. Jedi having a massive score lead by 2,000 points on pretty much everyone else. Skirmish is out. Don't know if that was the best play in the world. Mamelukes, of course, being a ranged melee unit, I believe, from what I remember. Trebuchets are out. Looks like this castle will be in trouble. Good wall off here by Fate, defending this area. It means that the Mangudai won't be able to do a quick run by like they did before. We'll probably be able to run up to here, but again, Mamelukes can sit there, and of course, if they do run up, we'll be able to hopefully keep them in range. Trebuchets here. Looks like it did get taken down, and lots of bombard cannons here actually for Jess. Really holding this pass well, but then again, with so many trebuchets, how can you be expected to hold it for so long? Gunpowder being extremely effective. It looks like Jedi is starting to run out of gold here. Has started going into Hussar and Skirmisher. But then again, hand cannon, bombard cannon, that's a really expensive combination to be trying to play. Fate running in here, getting, I think he killed off all those Mangudai. That's really impressive there. Looks like he did lose quite a few Mamelukes, but still, look at all the Mangudai he did manage to kill off, or elite. Not elite, it would be Hussars or something. Didn't really see that, but still forced a lot of garrison time over here. Again, the economy is really in trouble. Looks like this castle might just survive if they take out this trebuchet. That's going to be the one thing. Hand cannons over here from Jedi as well. And ooh, not taking it out. Looks like they are actually repairing it. Very smart play. And hitting more villages there than trebuchets, really. On this side, Mangonel versus Skirmishers, we generally know how that's going to end, as long as it gets repaired. Sitting on 1 HP, but not getting repaired there. Jedi paying out a lot of food right now to VM, and would, of course, get those Skirmishers out, and ideas, whatever you want to use. Looks like Mamelukes, ooh, he's going to try and push in with the Mangudai. They will get cornered by these Mamelukes by the looks of things. This could not work out well for VM right now. Losing a lot of Mangudais right now, and that did not go as planned. Not at all. Siege Rams moving in right now for Jedi, but I don't think he's going to be able to push through here. There is quite a good defensive network of things going on. Saying that though, Jedi and Jessica managing to push in through here. However, not so many bombard cannons left. It looks like it's going mostly into trash right now. Of course, the markets over here really were hurt, so the markets, well, distance between us really have to be changed. So that's really going to hurt the, well, make a real big effect on the amount of gold they're going to be able to use in this game. Marmalik's just gutting everything in their path right now. Looks like Samurai moving in will be able to do quite a bit of damage over here, but these hand cannons in the back are going to be able to clean them up quite quickly, depending on how many there is. I don't think there's actually that many. There's only about 5, I think. Looks like we do have Orange moving in through this wall. However, getting caught in this nice area here, not going to be able to do a lot. Pikemen, of course, moving in through here. And, of course, getting that Viking HP bonus on them. Looks like over here, we can see Green just managing to hold this, while Fate is pushing in through here really well right now. And they might be able to win this. If Fate can destroy these 2 castles, get in here, harass the economy, then run straight into Jedi, it might be over. Going to be interesting to see how this pays off, especially considering that Team 1's on top, while Team 2 is still down below on the score. Gathering a lot of stone here, going to be able to use that all for defense. Oh, it's so close right now. I wonder if Yellow's... Oh, Yellow is starting to build archer ranges. Might be able to see some units out of Memb, and once that happens, I think the scales are really going to change, because Memb's going to be able to have quite a bit of units out, especially with the economy. How's the economy looking now? Not too bad. Could be better, could be worse, I guess. And in comes the hand cannon skirmisher group here. Ooh, Mangonel over there can be really annoying to try and kill off. Killing off quite a few hand cannons there. And it looks like Fate pushing in here really well. The last castle of the Mongol will be going down. Unless there was one over here. There's 2 over here actually saying that. Ooh. Right now, this could just about be it, actually. If Jessica loses this push over here, and Fate continues to push in here like he is, and it looks like, yes, he is pushing over to Jedi, gonna be a lot of trouble right now for Team 1. And yes, we can see here the green units are getting in on Jessica's push here. If they take out these bombard cannons, I don't think there's going to be any way to replace them. Getting a convert on these samurai, these monks doing it really well. It's so close. Saying that though, Fate playing a brilliant game on this side, just destroying VM completely. 4 trebuchets moving forward. Once he busts through this castle line here, I reckon they'll say GG. Unless Jessica and Jedi manage to push in here and kill off Green. If they can do that, they might be able to win. But if not, Fate's just going to push into Jedi and it's going to be over. Saying that as well, Jessica's going to lose pretty much all of Jedi's support right now because, well, he's going to be dealing with Fate, right? VM, lots of skirmishes out, but still not exactly the best unit to be using. But I guess better than, I think Halberdiers against Marmalis, because of course, Halberdiers just generally get cut down before they get too close. And keeping it close over here, lots of units still coming in. Of course, that bombard cannon, one hitting pretty much everything it decides to. Onigas are out for Jess, but... Oh, it might have been Oniga actually for Rez, but Jess managed to get a convert. I think this might be GG. Just from Fate, it's pushing on this side. Especially with these Hussars in here. 2+4 armor right now. Killing off these skirmishers really quickly. And it looks like these guys over here getting pushed back. There's a lot of bombard cannons there, but gonna have to really rely on converts to be able to get this. Getting a lot of samurai there actually, but still quite hard. This is really hard to guess right now, but these castles are all going down. Fayet's is running in here. Once this army is dealt with, the Light Cav are just going to be able to run in and just harass the entire economy, losing another castle here. Of course, Persian castle is not the biggest deal in the world. It's not like they generally create a lot of elite units, but still interesting to watch. Ooh. This is where the main things are going on. Saying that though, we do have Rez already on this side, pushing through here. He has got Halberdiers, and of course against Light Cavalry, know how that ends. This is over. Yeah, I'm expecting the GG any minute now. They're in the economy, they're doing a lot of damage. Marmaliks versus Lightcap, we know how that's going to go. Pikes versus Lightcaps, we know how that's going to go. Everything over here is just going to die. This castle will be taken out soon enough. Marmaliks, of course, with that, 130 hit points against a range unit with 7 attack. Yeah, not going to go well, especially when the Marmalik has 4 armor on it. And the push over here continuing, however, still in the base over here. Looks like a lot of these Marmaliks did get killed off, but still, it was harassed there for a minute. And once that economy starts to get harassed in a game like this, you just can't get harassed like this. Your economy needs to be working at full output for as long as possible, so you can keep creating units, have that bank. You can see that VM actually has a lot of wood available, but I don't think he's actually gathering anything. Oh, I saw the food go up by a little bit there. And VM resigning out, Jedi resigning out, and that means Jessica is next. That's GG, folks. That is GG. Very well played by Fate in this. Extremely good push over here. Good defense by Rez as well. Managed to hold this off. And Memb going for that sling as well. I'm surprised that he survived through all this. So I hope you enjoyed that. Black Forest for a change. And I'll see you in the next video.